Hey, Matt Man's back. Welcome back to my channel. I found myself a bag of coin. No, not this old U.S. Mint bag from August the 4th of 1988, but its modern replacement, a CoinLOK bag. I believe these came from a credit union in Wisconsin that still has the old-fashioned coin counters. When people bring in their loose coin, they count them up for them and they end up in these bags, which are then sent to the Fed. And it's got a place here to put the Fed label. So this is my first time having one of these. When I look at it, I'm nearly positive these are meant to be disposable. I can't figure out any way to open it to save it. So I decided to sacrifice the bag completely. And I'm just going to cut it where it's easy to get the coin out. There, that makes for a nice container to pull them out by the handful. So I'm going to get started with that, and I'll be back if I find anything good to show you. Alright, I'm on probably my fourth handful here. Things look up here. I got my first wheat, a common 1946. And I also saw a few other things. Here's a Canadian, 1974. And I have another Canadian I saw. Here it is, 1993. Two Canadians I found before now. A very nice looking young head. It's a 1964, and the other one's an 83. Let's see what else. That was a good handful. And I had one other one I'd like to show you. So it looks like a 96, and the 6 has been greased out, and then the middle letters of Liberty are also greased out. Let's look on the scope. On the scope you can't see the 6. You can in hand though. And then in Liberty, those letters get wiped away. Just an interesting one. That G is real thin. And then something up with that R, a little bit on the bottom of the U. S looks thin. So this is an air coin of some sort. It's just a few handfuls later, and I found a face down wheat. So let's check you out. .44 Philly. That much gone. Just a few handfuls later. And that popped up. It has sort of the old look to it. Oh, 1954 Denver. I have been plugging away. I think I'm about between a third and a half done. copper stacking up. I found something interesting here. So it's an older looking wheat, but it's got a couple of die chips there on the upper wheat ear. Let's see what date it is. Oh, just a 55 Philly. Nice big die chips. Back to the hunt. Alright, I think I'm approaching about halfway done. Rejects, to be searched, copper, checking for errors and varieties. But what I have here, and this one I've already seen, it's a 40, is a 1949 San Francisco. And then there was one face down right here. It doesn't suggest that it's old and pretty worn. Oh wow, 1941 Philly. And just to get us caught up here, I found 4 others in the 50s. 51 Denver, a 52 Denver, a 53 Denver, and that 1955 with the interesting die chip to go with the 54 Denver I found earlier. 4 in the 40s, 5 in the 50s, and 6 more Canadians to go with the 4 I've already found, plus this 1953 young head that looks fairly promising until you flip it over. It's got that stain on it, but it's still a good year. Alright, keep hunting. Alright, I think I'm past the halfway point. I'm kind of letting that get out of hand a little bit. But there's something I have never found in a penny hunt before. A quarter. Huh? I suppose it's only because it's in the bag. It couldn't end up in a roll. But I think the counters would be better than that. Oh well. I'm ahead. I keep plugging away. And I found another wheat that looks a little old. I don't know, probably a VG. 1946 Denver. And also I had this nice young head. Looks in pretty good shape. Not much detail on the hair. 1962. So far I have 14 Canadians and 10 wheats. The Canadians usually win. Toward the end of this handful, I have this one pop up. 1937 Philly. Common, but halfway decent shape. Always good to see one in the 30s. Left. And the latest handful. Where did you go? Had that wheat pop out. And that looks in pretty dang good shape. It's probably a 50s. No. 48 Denver. Oh yeah, that's an XF all day. But that's an upgrader. And my previous finds I didn't show. I had 3 in the 50s, a 50 Philly, 57 Denver, 58 Denver, and 2 more Canadians, both in the 70s. I got everything cleaned up and ready for a recap. We'll start with this copper, 8 pounds, 10 ounces of copper in $50 worth of pennies. That's 4 pounds and 5 ounces per box, which would make it my second and third best boxes since I started doing this on YouTube, 13 boxes in. That's pretty good. I got all of my coins checked for varieties and errors. Each coin represents a mintage that I look for the errors in, and then I stack them until it's about 10 high, and then I'll check them all at once for the error I'm looking for. These are the finds I have, and we can go through those now. We'll start with the only one I got in the 30s, a 37 in, oh, probably fine. And then I got a 41, a 44, 46, 46D. I found this really nice 48D that I think is going to upgrade my book, which will be the last thing I do here. That has to be the find of the bag. A 49 San Francisco, a 50, 51D, 52D, 53D, 54D. I have this 1955 with the nice die chips on it. Tell me if you think I should call that die gouges instead of die chips. I like that coin. A 57 Denver and a 58 Denver. Now in the Canadians, the best one was this first year, Queen Elizabeth 1953. It does not have the strap. The strap is the one that would be more valuable. And it's got that stain on it. And then I had 3 more young hits, a 62 and 2 1964s. And then I had 14 from 1965 to 1996, all bronze. 1996 was the last year they made the bronze penny. Okay, also, I found that quarter, and I will probably never find another quarter in a penny search. I had this 96 greased out date and part of Liberty that I showed earlier, but one of the last things I found was this slicked out coin I can't date at all. Now it's got a rub on it. So when you look at it under the scope, you can barely see the 1.9 and you can't make out the rest of it. So I'm thinking that's another grease slick. Got those little die chips off to the right. I found this 1982 small date copper, which I'm betting is going to upgrade my book. I have 7 candidates for varieties that are pretty weak, but I'll take and I'll roll them up and we'll look at them later. But I got 3 here, decent varieties. This is an 03. And it's got the blister on the column to the right of the statue from his hand down to his ankle. And I'll put a close-up of that right here. I also found this '09 Lincoln, Illinois legislature that has something on the window but doesn't show up in Variety Vista. And if you look, the second column from the left looks like it has an imprint of the window right on the column, on the top of the column. If you look at it, it's tilted like 45 degrees, slanting from northeast to southwest, and then down to the southeast. And it's got some dots there that kind of represent the windows. And lastly, I have this 22 Philadelphia, and there's a DDO you look for in the initials, and I think those initials qualify. It's got the, you look at the bottom of the F and the bottom of the M. The M is definitely skewed, I guess, to the east. But it doesn't show any of the other markers you would look for this coin. So let me know if you think that's enough. I went ahead and carted up the '03 DDR. I left my variety pile because I have 2 more boxes ready to go. It'll be a little easier. But I was wrong on that 48 Denver. I didn't even have one. So that's an addition to the book. Happy to see that. And I'm also going to upgrade the 77 Denver. And I was right on that 82 small date copper. Even with the 2 additions, those will still be the 2 worst coins in the book. But they are improvements, and you take what you can get. So, join me next time when I'll start populating that again. See what we get in 2 more boxes. Join me for that. Until next time, Batman's out. If you're getting any value at all out of this, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Share it with your friends. And hit that notification bell. Thank you very much.